Hi, friends. Welcome back to Great People Interview Series. Today, I'm excited to have Dr. Lorenzo Conti. He's the founder and managing director of Crover Limited. Well, he's a PhD and he has discovered the first of its kind, something that takes humanity below the surface. Yes, he has discovered a drone technology. He will explain that a little more. He's an enterprise fellow of Royal Academy of Engineering and holds a PhD in engineering from University of Edinburgh. He worked in the granular technology, and he has discovered Crover effect. So, welcome, Doctor.
Hi, everyone. Delighted to be here. Thanks for having me, Sachin.
Yes, so I'm so excited that we have somebody who's discovered something for the mankind, first of its kind, which will help people do a lot of things, and we'll discuss that as we go along. But can you tell us, where this name Crover comes from? And yes, of course, the Crover drone and what this concept is all about.
Yeah, so after discovering what we like to call the Crover effect, so the presence of coupling between rotational and translational motion in granular media, we realized as we were developing a device that would use that effect to move through bulk solids and powders, that there was no word in the dictionary for a device, to describe a device that can move through these type of materials and below the surface of them. Subterranean drone, if you may, to understand it in kind of more simple terms. So we kind of spent a bit of time trying to think of a word that didn't mean anything yet, that was short, simple, and eventually came up with very long descriptions like a granular effect-based remote moving probe, then kind of compressed all of that into the word Crover.
Wow, amazing, amazing. And just to kind of serve the curiosity of people who are listening to this, what does this actually do? What are the applications of this Crover effect?
Well, the main one that we've been working on is to help maintain the quality of bulks of grain in storage, like in sheds and silos. So when after harvest, you put large quantities of grain in these large storage units. It's usually thousands of tons of grain that have to stay in there for 3 months or longer. And during that time, the condition of that grain can deteriorate, and infestations like insects and molds can develop if the condition, like the temperature and the moisture of the grain, is not kept within safe ranges. So we've been developing around the Crover Ropo a grain storage management system to help monitor and maintain the quality of grain stocks across the world.
Wow. So it's a kind of ball type device. I saw that in your TEDx interview, and so it's a ball type device which kind of travels through the grains, isn't it?
Yeah, that's one of our designs. Obviously, the applications of our technology are a bit broader. But yeah, as you mentioned, we've got one of those kind of ball-shaped designs that can move in any direction within granular bulks, and I guess that's kind of like really the main breakthrough.
And it then analyzes the grains, is it?
Yeah, so it's got sensors on board, so that as it's moving through, it measures the likes of temperature and moisture. And then matching that data with the location of the device, we can build a 3D map of conditions within the grain bulk.
Amazing, amazing. So So where did you get this idea and this intention behind developing such a device?
Well, I was doing a PhD at the University of Edinburgh in Scotland. I was working in the field of granular materials, trying to develop constitutive models or mathematical equations effectively that describe how these materials behave. And I was lucky enough, almost through a spell of luck, to observe this new physical effect that effectively represents the first feasible method for multidirectional locomotion in granular materials. But then at that point, I had kind of no idea about business and no intention really to build a startup. It was just something that hadn't crossed my mind. And then talking to some of the startup advisors at the University of Edinburgh, initially talking about finding a patent before disclosing any of the idea publicly. Then eventually we realized that building a startup was the logical way to go to deliver the potential that the technology has.
And how do you plan to commercialize this? Or is it commercialized already?
Yeah, so we've mostly been kind of working with a few partners to pilot and develop the technology, but we're now getting to the stage where we're launching soon more widely commercially the first version of the system. We still have a lot of things on the pipeline to add more features and kind of improve the system. But yeah, we for that commercialization route, we set up a startup in Scotland. We've got now a core team of 12 of us full time, and
wow.
we just moved last month to new facilities at the National Robotarium, which is the kind of new home of UK robotics. We've got kind of new labs and facilities there that are enabling us to move much faster, and yeah, it's just been great fun to work with our team and work on very unique problems, because everything that we've developed, we've had to develop it from scratch. It's very different from any other robotic system that you find out there. The type of environment that we move through as very unique challenges, and so we had to kind of write the guidebook ourselves.
So to be able to do this, I guess you received some funding from our UK government.
Yeah, we've been very lucky to receive support from the likes of Innovate UK, Scottish Enterprise, the European Union as well, and a lot of other entities, as well as the University of Edinburgh. They've been our first and biggest supporters, without that, obviously we wouldn't be where we are today. And it's just one of those things where you're developing deep tech in the sense of something based on a scientific discovery. It takes a lot of time and resources, and those are usually the kind of things that is the hardest to get resources for, because most of the funding out there in terms of investment is for commercially ready and proven things that are very similar to something that already exists out there, almost like a stepwise improvement, but kind of breakthrough jumps that they're not really fit to the typical VC investment money, and so we had to get a bit creative on how we got our support. But yeah, like I was saying, luckily there's a lot of government organizations and nonprofits that have been really helpful to get it.
That's really good, because I think when you're trying to do something groundbreaking, the commercial world may not immediately recognize the potential. So and that's where I think a lot of these government schemes are really useful, but they're very difficult to crack, because they really need to be convinced that your discovery is worth funding for. And the fact of the matter that you got the funding, it proves that even government believes in your research. So it's a big motivation more than the funding. It's a big motivation that there are other people who are supporting what you're doing, and they believe the future in what you're developing. So it's quite encouraging, isn't it?
Yeah, I should probably mention it's not been only grant money. We've also received some pre-seed investment from our big crowd from Crowdcube. So over 500 investors, a few kind of high net worth angel investors as well, and a fund from the University of Edinburgh, without which as well, we couldn't have even gotten the grants, because those usually require match funding.
Fantastic, fantastic. That's amazing. Well, and you appeared on TEDx talk. So how was that experience?
Yeah, it's been a really fun experience. We had a very short time to put together that talk. I believe usually people spend months to prepare for it. We only had a handful of weeks before the talk, and while you're running a business, also there's a lot of other things happening.
Yeah.
But eventually it was great fun. The TEDx team at Strathclyde University organized a fantastic day. We had a lot of high-profile speakers and other engineering innovations, like kind of almost Iron Man suit type of thing. And yeah, it was just fantastic. And I guess it's like a piece of video that stays there, and can explain to people in simple terms a little bit more about our discovery.
Yeah. I guess throughout this journey, you must have had many challenges, but any specific that you want to point out? What was your biggest challenge, and how did you overcome it?
Building a startup is a constant series of challenges. It's if not on a daily basis, but it's one of those things that sometimes they also all come at once. I think a lot of the work in managing a company is to try to set up processes and structures so to limit the likelihood of and magnitude of those challenges. So as you grow, you're able in a way to sort of reduce them, but especially in the early stages, it's just almost too many challenges for you to handle all of them, and you've got to always prioritize which are actually important to handle. But yeah, in the end, it's all about resilience, not giving up and not just thinking that a challenge is the end of the route. You've always got to have a plan B, C, D, and F, and so on. And if some don't work out, then you've got the other one to go for.
Great. So I'm sure, this would be a great inspiration to some other people who are trying to do something new, something innovative. And when it is innovative and it is you're doing it for the first time, you have those, challenges. You don't know whether you're going to succeed or not. So you have no sense of security or assurance. So for those people, if you could share, how do you motivate the team? Because, what they're trying to do, they don't know whether they're going to succeed or not.
Well, I guess, okay, maybe the most important step is making sure that the team that you build actually doesn't need that very strong sense of security, because that's what someone kind of requires. Then they're probably not suited for a startup, or at least not at early stage. But then, once you've got the right people, I think it's important to maintain that team attitude, know that you're all fighting towards the same goal and vision, that you're all trying together to address those challenges, and then work through them as a team. And if you can do that, I think the main motivation is just, you know, the fact that you're a lot of like very talented, very skilled people who are working towards a very big goal and are doing something extremely unique that no one else in the world is doing. And if you don't do it, no one else will.
That's right. That's right. Amazing. And what are your expansion plans?
Well, I mean, I don't want to, you know, make too many promises here, but, you know, we've been focused mostly on the UK and Italy so far, because, you know, well, the UK is where we're based, Italy is where I'm originally from, so it's been easier for us to do work there, but we're been slowly kind of looking at other markets. I just came back last Thursday from visiting Australia, and you know, we are planning to expand a little bit our footprint and also the type of use cases of our potential customers that we can tackle, because you know, grain storage businesses, they have very different requirements, and you know, we're trying to address all the big ones, and also potentially expanding to other types of granular bulks and other sectors that handle bulk solids and powders, which we think our technology and product will be perfectly suited for.
Brilliant. Hi there. I just wanted to share with you all why London School of Digital Business is doing this great people interview series. Well, for the last few years, small and medium businesses have been facing lots of challenges. Individuals have been wondering what's going to happen to their careers because of these emerging trends and technologies, artificial intelligence, VR, AR. What's going to happen? It feels as if the world is changing. And then COVID hit, and there is a lot of depression in the minds of people. So we thought we need to bring in some positivity, bring in some motivation and inspiration. And it's all good to know these stories of, you know, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates. But we wanted to talk about the extraordinary stories of the people that you get to see in the ordinary world. They are no way ordinary people. They are great people, but they are the ones you can relate to. Hence, we thought this is something that we want to bring in to increase the chances of success for many, motivate them, give them the insights. And I'm so happy to share that every leader has shared completely unique and different insights because their situations have been different. Somebody was alone, and we know that, you know, entrepreneurs are alone at the top and how it feels, and they fought their challenges. Somebody had partnership, business partners, and you know, somebody could not survive the business partnership, so they had to rebuild themselves. You know, somebody thought, well, I could have done this differently if I was to go back in time. So every insight is so unique. I must thank all the people who shared their journeys, and I'm sure this will help you all succeed in life, increase the chances of your success, as well as reach there faster, and of course, achieve happiness in life. Thank you for listening. Right. So having gone through, you know, your discovery and, you know, the heavier side of the business, let's try to look at and reveal Lorenzo Conti as a person. So we're moving towards the lighter side of our interview session. So some rapid fire questions here. So if you were to go back in time, what would you have done differently?
I think that's a tough one. You know, obviously with the knowledge that I've got now, a lot of things I could have done, you know, faster and better. So probably just, you know, if I could bring back all that knowledge I know about those things in advance, obviously that would have been very helpful. But other than that, I think everything that I've been through up until that point has been necessary to get where we are. And I wouldn't have known those things if we hadn't gone through them.
When you're not working, what do you do?
I mean, running a startup is mostly that, like the startup becomes your life. So not very much else, but I spend time with my girlfriend, and I think also the reason why I'm doing this is that I enjoy it almost like a hobby. So it's
Right.
not like I wouldn't want to do anything else.
Work, and to have a break from work, you again work.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of fun, right? It's what I want to do. I chose to do it, and I enjoy it.
Right. And what's your favorite holiday destination? Do you go on holidays, by the way?
Let's say I use some business opportunities to explore places and see things that I couldn't otherwise. But yeah, in terms of favorite holiday destination, it's hard to pick. I usually like exploring places that I haven't been to before.
Amazing, amazing. Right. So the last and the conclusive part of the interview, what's your ultimate goal, vision, or purpose of life?
Well, our bigger mission at Crover is to enable humanity to reach below the surface, as we say. And the first step towards that mission is to help grain storage operators reduce their mass and quality losses by at least 80%, and to do so safely.
Wow, amazing. So who inspires you, and why?
I would say I'm inspired by two types of people. One is, people that can, maintain a bit of fun and, childlike attitude as they grow, and be very successful at the same time. I believe I wrote an essay when I was really young about a person like that I really admired. And, and the other ones are people who have kind of, overcome challenges and develop something unique, thinking very differently from the crowd.
Right. So, well, finally, what's your advice for the entrepreneurs who have started their, journey?
Yeah, I think the main thing that I would say is you want to be 100% or more sure that what you're starting or you're about to start is really something that you see yourself committing to, almost as a way of life for a very long period of time, at the very least 5 to 10 years, if not more, because that's really what it's going to take to make you successful. Like startup successes don't really ever happen overnight. Even the stories that you read in the news about what sounds like an overnight success, usually when you look into it, there are years and years of build up to that before it. And so you really got to make sure that that's what you're going to do, and you're not going to give up after.
Well, thank you so much for those words. I'm sure, people who are watching this interview will be inspired and highly motivated to continue their journeys. In spite of, the snow that's outside in London here. I don't know what's in Edinburgh, but yes, since yesterday, it's snowing in London. So in spite of all this weather changes, I'm sure, your words will act as the warm sunlight for many of the entrepreneurs, and they will be highly delighted. So lots of things to learn. And once again, congratulations for this path-breaking discovery, and good luck for the future.
Yeah, thank you, Shane, and I really hope so that we can inspire the next generation of entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. And any help you need from London School of Digital Business, obviously we'll stay connected, and give us a shout.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Bye-bye.